There are places that enchant. And there are places that transform. Cappadocia is one of them. Between skies filled with hot air balloons, cities hidden beneath the earth, and landscapes shaped by time, this video is an invitation to explore one of the most astonishing settings in the world, where every detail reveals a new story. In Turkey, more precisely in the heart of Cappadocia, there is a place where nature sculpted unique landscapes. And humanity transformed stone into shelter, faith, and history. From the spectacle of hot air balloons at sunrise to the secrets hidden underground, this is a destination that goes far beyond what the eyes can see. Welcome to Cappadocia. Feel the thrill of a hot air balloon adventure and discover some of Cappadocia's main attractions: the underground cities, Göreme National Park, the fairy Chimneys, Selime Castle, Ortahisar Castle, Ihlara Valley, Narlıgöl Crater Lake, and Lake Tuz. It is still night when the balloons begin to come to life, inflating like dreams about to take flight. Crew members and support teams work on the final adjustments, while passengers are invited to embark on this unforgettable adventure. The silence takes over the landscape, interrupted only by the intermittent bursts of gas that ignite the flames and begin the magic. Between silence and flames, the balloon rises gently, and the journey begins. Still in the dark, while the city sleeps, the balloon slowly ascends. Little by little, the scenery reveals itself. On the horizon, dozens of balloons already fill the sky, while the sun prepares to rise. As the sun rises, the sky is painted in golden tones, and the true magic of Cappadocia unfolds. Seen from above, the landscape is breathtaking, a setting that seems to belong to another world. Deep valleys and rock formations sculpted by the forces of nature over millions of years. Every detail invites contemplation. The balloon's route is guided by the wind, drifting gently according to the weather conditions. In the sky, dozens of balloons color the horizon, creating a silent and unforgettable spectacle. More than just a ride, the hot air balloon flight is an experience that combines adventure, wonder, and contemplation. And every moment becomes a memory for a lifetime. To better understand this experience, a few numbers help put the flight into perspective. This balloon remained in the air for 44 minutes, traveled 3.6 kilometers, at an average speed of 82 meters per minute, reaching an altitude of more than 900 meters. In Cappadocia, every flight is unique and, as we have seen, the view from above is truly breathtaking. But if the sky amazes, what lies beneath the earth reveals another world entirely. It is true that Cappadocia is famous for its skies, especially when filled with hot air balloons. But the true soul of this region is not found in what can be seen from above. It is hidden in the silence beneath the ground. In homes carved into the rock, and in the impressive underground cities. These complexes extend through several levels below the earth, reaching depths of more than 60 meters. Connected by narrow tunnels, they sheltered spaces that served as living areas, kitchens, storage rooms, and even churches. Just imagine the challenge of ventilation. Sustaining the breath of so many people, dealing with smoke from the kitchens, with waste, all of this inside enclosed spaces. And there was yet another element that inspired fear: the entrances. Legend says that the enormous circular stones used to seal the entrances gave rise to the belief that these cities were enchanted labyrinths. It was said that invaders who dared to enter without permission would be trapped forever, lost within corridors that seemed to shift and change. In reality, they were ingenious defensive strategies, simple, yet extremely effective. Everything within these spaces was designed with remarkable skill for the time. And those were only some of the challenges. Lighting was another. It is estimated that there are around 150 underground sites throughout the region. Most were smaller dwellings, but about 36 can truly be considered underground cities. In all of them, thousands of people lived for long periods of time. But why? Why build entire cities beneath the earth? The answer is simple: survival. These spaces served as shelters against wars, persecution, and harsh conditions. During the Byzantine era, Christian communities hid from invasions. and over time, they transformed caves into true underground metropolises. If an enemy managed to enter, the narrow corridors became a strategic advantage, capable of being defended by a single person. And there was still one final line of defense, the millstone-shaped stone doors. Gigantic stone discs that could only be sealed from the inside, turning each level into an almost impenetrable fortress. But how was all of this possible? The answer lies in the rock itself. Soft enough to be carved, yet strong enough to harden upon contact with the air. It was this way that these civilizations came to understand something extraordinary. Architecture did not need to be built. It could be carved. As you walk through these silent corridors, it is impossible not to imagine the life that once existed beneath the surface. Stories of resistance, faith, and adaptation. These cities remained in use until the beginning of the 20th century, and stayed forgotten until 1963, when a local resident rediscovered the entrance to Derinkuyu, one of the largest underground cities ever found. Today, exploring this hidden world is like traveling through time, an encounter with secrets that the earth preserved for millennia. And proof that, in the face of fear, human ingenuity is capable of creating true wonders. Göreme National Park is the heart of Cappadocia, a land of deep valleys and rock formations sculpted by nature over millions of years. But what we see on the surface is only the beginning. Here, the passage of time and human presence intertwine, carving homes, sanctuaries, and secrets hidden within the stone. It is not merely a natural spectacle. It is a refuge of faith and history. Legend says that when the first Christians sought refuge in the region during the Roman period, caves, churches, and underground cities were protected through divine intervention. It is said that angels concealed the fugitives from invaders through sandstorms and dense mists that covered the valleys of Göreme National Park. Among the rocks lie hidden ancient churches and frescoes that have defied time, a legacy so precious that it became a heritage of all humanity. When the sunlight reaches the valleys, light and shadow transform the landscape into a living work of art. And for a few moments, the world seems to fall silent before such vastness. Göreme is not just a destination. It is a place where nature, faith, and mystery seem to exist in perfect harmony. In the unique landscape of Cappadocia, formations emerge that seem to defy logic. The famous fairy chimneys. Sculpted over millions of years by the action of wind and rain, these stone towers are true masterpieces of nature. Tall, delicate, and mysterious, they carry in their shapes the marks of a slow, almost silent, process, where time itself is the true artist. But there is also something magical about them. Legend says that, long ago, giants inhabited these lands. Whenever they became enraged, they would unleash waves of fire from the mountaintops, and fear would spread across everything around them. Desperate, the people prayed for protection. And according to the legend, it was the fairies who answered their call, turning the fire into stone, raising the towers we see today. For this reason, people believed that fairies lived inside these formations, and that the chimneys were the exits of their homes hidden beneath the earth. While geology explains the formation of these rocks, it is the legends that reveal the soul of Cappadocia. Among these formations, civilizations found shelter. They carved homes, churches, and refuges, transforming rock into home, faith, and survival. At sunrise, beneath the golden light of the sun, or at sunset, when elongated shadows redraw the landscape, the chimneys reveal different faces, always astonishing. Not merely geological formations, they are symbols of a place where nature, history, and imagination come together. In Cappadocia, even the stones tell stories. Between cliffs shaped by time, one of the most impressive landscapes in Cappadocia emerges. Selime Castle. Carved into volcanic rock centuries ago, this enormous complex sheltered monks, travelers, and entire communities along the routes of ancient Anatolia. Tunnels, chambers, passageways, and viewpoints reveal a true city of stone, where faith, protection, and survival coexisted in perfect harmony. At the heart of the complex lies the famous Selime Cathedral, a monumental rock-carved church that bears witness to the presence of early Christianity in the region. It is believed to have been one of the largest religious centers in the area, where monks and entire communities lived, prayed, and sought protection. Walking through Selime is like exploring a silent world, carved by hand, where every corridor seems to preserve echoes of a distant past. Ortahisar Castle rises majestically in the heart of the landscape. A gigantic rock formation nearly 90 meters high, shaped by nature and transformed through human ingenuity. Over the centuries, its interior spaces were carved out and used as shelter, as well as strategic points for observation and defense. From afar, it dominates the horizon. Up close, it reveals details that tell stories of adaptation, survival, and ingenuity. Not merely a monument. It is a place to observe, to feel, and to surrender to the history that echoes through every detail of this landscape. A presence that seems to watch over the entire surrounding horizon. Amid the arid landscapes of Cappadocia, an unexpected scene emerges. Ihlara Valley. An impressive canyon stretching for nearly 15 kilometers, and reaching depths of up to 150 meters. Unlike other areas of the region, here the landscape comes alive in shades of green. Trees, abundant vegetation, and the constant sound of water flowing among the rocks. Along its course, the valley preserves true historical treasures. Dozens of churches carved into the rock, many of them decorated with frescoes dating back to the earliest centuries of Christianity. These spaces served as refuges for monks and communities seeking isolation, faith, and protection. A sanctuary where nature and spirituality exist in harmony. Where time seems to follow a different rhythm, in harmony with the flow of the waters, and with history itself. Among the landscapes of Cappadocia lies a place of singular beauty, Narlıgöl Crater Lake. Formed within an ancient volcanic crater, it stands as a silent witness to the forces that shaped the entire region. Its calm waters contrast with the intense origins of its formation, creating a landscape that is both serene and awe-inspiring. According to local tradition, the lake possesses therapeutic properties, and to this day, visitors come here seeking moments of relaxation and renewal. A hidden refuge in Cappadocia, one that amazes not through grandeur, but through the tranquility and depth it conveys. Expanding the view beyond Cappadocia, this is Lake Tews, one of the most impressive salt lakes in the world. During the summer, its waters recede, revealing an immense white surface of crystallized salt. The horizon disappears, and the sky seems to merge with the ground, creating a unique, almost surreal, visual effect. Walking here feels like floating above solid clouds, in an absolute silence that invites contemplation. Beyond its beauty, the lake also holds great economic importance, being responsible for a large portion of Turkey's salt production. But it is at sunset that Lake Tews reveals its most magical side, when shades of pink, gold, and blue reflect across the shallow surface, transforming the landscape into a true spectacle of nature. With millions of visitors every year, Cappadocia has established itself as one of the most fascinating destinations in the world. A destination where history, nature, and unique experiences come together. From skies filled with balloons, to landscapes sculpted by time. Among its highlights are Göreme National Park, the impressive underground cities, and the unforgettable hot air balloon flights. Each experience reveals a new way of seeing this unique landscape. Cappadocia is not just a destination. It is a meeting point between the past and the present. Between the power of nature and human creativity. A place where every landscape tells a story. And every experience becomes a memory. More than a journey. A true voyage through time. And an experience that remains even after it ends. Until the next adventure.